Listen carefully, Leonidas. Xerxes conquers and controls everything he rests his eyes upon.
I can make you rich beyond all measure.
All the God King Xerxes requires is this, a simple offering of earth and water, a token of Sparta's submission to the will of Xerxes.
I will make a warlord of all Greece.
A beast approaches. It was King Leonidas himself who provoked it.
We must be diplomatic.
And of course, Spartans have their reputation to consider.
Choose your next words carefully, Leonidas.
Madness. Earth and water. This is Spartans! What is your profession?
Manufactured by 300 years of Spartan warrior society.
Is this all of them?
As you ordered. 300.
To create the finest soldiers the world has ever known. Agoge, as it's called. Into the hot gates we march.
Submission.
Into that narrow corridor we march. Where Xerxes' numbers count for nothing. Funneled into this narrow corridor.
The idea of kneeling. Well, that's a bit of a problem. Spartans! Ready your breakfast and eat hearty.
My king! Oh!
But tonight, we dine in hell! We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength. Today, no Spartan dies! Persian! Each Spartan takes the man to his left. No mercy! Thighs to neck with a shield. Wave after wave of Persian attack smash against Spartan shields. Come and get them! In the end, Spartan's true strength was the warrior next to him. A single weak spot and the phalanx shatters. Push! Spartans! Prepare for glory! We will use our superior fighting skills and the terrain of Greece herself to destroy them.
We do what we were trained to do. What we were bred to do. Toward the death on the battlefield. In service to Sparta. What we were born to do. Was the greatest glory he could achieve in his life. For more than glory, such mad hope. But there it is. Against Asia's endless hordes, against all odds, we can do it. We can hold the hot gates. We can win. No sleep tonight. Not for the king.
Pray to the winds. Sparta will fall. All Greece will fall.
I saw those ships smashed on the rocks. How can this be? There can be no victory here. This battle is over, Leonidas!
Hundreds leave. A handful stay.
Battle is over when I say it is over! Why do you smile?
I've fought countless times. Yet I've never met an adversary who could offer me what we Spartans call a beautiful death. I can only hope, with all the world's warriors gathered against us, there might be one down there who's up to the task.
There is no glory to be had now! Only retreat or surrender! Or death! Well, that's an easy choice for us! Arcadian! Spartans never retreat!
Taught never to retreat. Never to surrender.
Spartans never surrender! No retreat! No surrender. That is Spartan law. And by Spartan law, we will stand and fight! And die.
Sparta wages no war at the time of the Carnea.
Sparta will burn!
Our men will die in arms until women and children will be slaves or worse.
Then what must a king do to save his world when the very laws he is sworn to protect force him to do nothing?
It's quiet now. It is not a question of what a Spartan citizen should do, nor a husband, nor a king. Instead, ask yourself, dearest love, what should a free man do?
What shall we do?
What can we do?
What can you do?
We march. For our lands, for our families, for our freedoms.
Combat with your shield, or on it.
Yes, milady.
We march.
I will erase even the memory of Sparta from the histories.
The old ones say we Spartans are descended from Hercules himself.
The world will know that free men stood against a tyrant.
Bold Leonidas gives testament to our bloodline.
That few stood against many.
His roar is long and loud.
Why, honoring the very name of Sparta or Leonidas will be punishable with death.
A new age has begun.
The world will never know you existed at all.
An age of freedom.
All his 40 years have been a straight road to this one gleaming moment in destiny.
We are with you, sire! For Sparta! For freedom!
There's one radiant clash of shield and spear, sword and bone, and flesh and blood.
To the death!
And all will know that 300 Spartans gave their last breath
To die at your side.
to defend it.
It's an honor to have lived at yours, my love.
Our king, Leonidas! Leonidas and the brave 300!
Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Baraka Kodash. Ababa Ball, Mashapayim, judgment unto all the false anointed, all the false prophets. And Shalom, peace, health, empowerment, freedom unto the election in these last days. And there's a lot of changes happening. You know, the Lord, He's speeding up time like you know, just rapidly. Like it's amazing in our eyes. And the Lord, he's bringing about the end as we speak, as we carry our cross daily. And another thing about the Lord and what's going on right now is that He's finding out all his enemies and he's cutting them off. He's cutting off the tree of good and evil. He's cutting off the fig tree. He's cutting off the men that have no fruits of the Spirit. They might say it with their mouth. With their mouth, they show much love, but their heart is far from the Lord, saith the Lord. So the thing about the new heart of flesh, being in the new covenant, fully in agreement, being married to the Lord, loving marriage, covenant, an unbreakable bond, is that we can see, like Lord said in Malachi 3, then ye shall return and discern between those that serve the Lord and those that don't serve Him. All right, and let me start in verse Ecclesiasticus, because we're in such a glorious time, a very special time. And you have to, like the Lord said in Ecclesiastes 2, whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Because the lower state that we're in is not forever. It's just a process. It's just a moment of time. But the Lord, He's raising us up. He's raising up our frequency, our minds, you see. And it's a very, very supernatural thing, you know. Immortality and being reborn again, and really partaking of this everlasting life. You know, time doesn't exist. There's no such thing as time. You know, we're being conformed to his only begotten Son, which there's no beginning and no end. Ecclesiastes chapter 25, 24 and 23, all these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God. And, you know, the other day, I brought up that scripture in Leviticus 26. And right there in Leviticus 26 is the new heart of flesh, is the new covenant. So it shows you, right, the laws, statutes, and commandments, 613 of them that was given to Moses. Yahushua was always in the midst. It was always about the Lord. Even before the written word, it's always been about Yahushua. Even in the time of Samuel, our people, they wanted a king like the heathen, but the Lord had already been their king. So it just shows you how our people have corrupted themselves, and they've made themselves like heathen, like Gentiles, and all they care about is the carnal, physical things. But when it comes to the spiritual, supernatural, miracle, they don't follow the Lord for that. But see, us over here, the very few of us left, we've been, the small cluster that we are, we follow the Lord for the spiritual and the supernatural things, and that's why in these last days we're inheriting the blessing and the power of the Lord in these last days, being the elect of God, of power, the chosen ones. Even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob. Ecclesiastes 45 and verse, it's like 46 and 1 says, Yahushua, now this Yahushua is Joshua, all right, the son of Nun, was valiant in the wars and was the successor of Moses in prophecies, right? He came after Moses. Because remember, Moses got very angry and he hit the rock and the water came out, and because of his anger, he wasn't allowed into the promised land. So it shows you how the Lord is very in charge. You know, there's no respect to persons, you see. And it's just heavy, man. It says, who according to his name was made great for the saving of the elect of God. You see, it's all about the elect. Back then, when we left Egypt, bondage, it was all about the elect. And there was all different types of trimming. There was the Exodus, but you still had like tares amongst our people. Like you had that Egyptian Israelite boy, that tare, and his mother. That boy, he cursed the name of God, and then the Moses and the council, the judges, they said, all right, well, we'll get to take him out the camp and stone him to death. And that's what happened. So then you had the next trimming where it was the elders and all the old people, which had no faith, didn't believe anything of the Lord, and they weren't worthy to enter into the promised land. So they were wandering 40 years and 40 days in the desert. It's like 40 years until they all perished. But the little ones, see, it's all about the little ones. And that's what we are. We're little ones. We're a small sanctuary. And we are the ones that are bringing about the prophecies and being fulfilled. The Lord said, who hath despised the day of small things? Because that's what the Lord is dealing with, the small things, the things you can't physically see with your carnal eye, the invisible things, the things you cannot see are eternal, but the things that you can see at the moment are only temporary. And that's so true, man. So you have to focus, you have to set your affections on things above, not on things beneath, not on things of this world, because prophecies are being filled at an extraordinary rate. Like the brother, he did a lesson on the angels pouring out those plagues and destroying the trees and the fires and stuff. And I'm going into that as well. It says, Zechariah 4:10, for who hath despised the day of small things, for they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of Yahweh, which run to and fro through the whole earth, right? And the word plummet, let me get this. A plummet is a drop straight down at high speed, right? So it's like a sharp fall. It's like a sharp is a weight, usually with a pointed tip on the bottom, suspended from a string, used as a vertical reference line or plumb line. It is a precursor to the spirit level. Whoo, check this out. It is a precursor to the spirit level and used to establish a vertical datum. It is typically made of stone, wood, or lead, but can also be made of other metals. It is used for decoration. It may be made of bone or ivory, right? So, the plummet, that rod of iron, that power. Then answered I and said unto him, what are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, what be these 2 olive branches which through the 2 golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? Right, so we're emptying golden oil out of ourselves, the wise virgins. You see, so going back, this is Ecclesiastes 46 and verse 1. It says, and taking, so it says, was made great for the saving of the elect of God, right? Leading them into the promised land of the land of milk, flowing with milk and honey, right? Israel, which we took from the Canaanites. The Lord said, you shall possess it and take it. So now it's not just that land, you know, guys, but when we're back in the land, then this, then that. No, like, guys think so smallly. They think so little of the Lord. The Lord's not only leading us to inherit Israel, the promised land. We're going to inherit this whole world, this whole earth. And not just the earth, but in the Lord's house, the Father's house, are many mansions. And the Lord, he's preparing a place for us. And the Lord said in Ezra's, he says, go and watch, for the kingdom is already prepared for you. He said it's already prepared. It's already been done. Yahushua, when he was on the cross, said it is finished. He already left. He already did his Father's will. He died for the remission of sins. He was that perfect sacrifice and atonement for us. And now he's at the right hand of Heavenly Father. Principalities, authorities, and powers being made subject to him. You see, so you can't carnally, physically see it yet, but all things are already under Yahushua's foot. You see, and he's just waiting for the Heavenly Father to give him the word to be sent back the second time, not as a man. You see, because when the Lord came as a man, look how our people treated him, with unbelief, with hate, with evil and murder. Says, and taking vengeance of the enemies that rose up against them, that he might set Israel in their inheritance. You see that? So, like the lesson I went into yesterday, we're under the yoke and the chain. We're servants of the Lord, not of men. Ecclesiastes 51 in verse 25. I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money. You see? It has nothing to do with this world. You see? And like when you buy something, right, you take what you have, right, and you exchange it for something else. So when it says buy her for yourselves, it means, you know, whatever you have, exchange it, and you want to have this. You see? The Lord with you. That's why the Lord said in Revelation 3:18, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and that thou mayest be clothed, and you can see. See? Verse 26, put your neck under the yoke and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find, right? It's very difficult because the Lord says, seek the Lord while he may be found, but before the evil days draw nigh. And the Lord said, how that wisdom and wit shall hide itself, so into its secret chambers. So this is what's happening. Behold, with your eyes, how that I have but little labor, and have gotten unto me much rest. This is what the Lord said, his yoke is light. You shall find rest for your souls. Get learning with a great sum of money, and get much gold by her. Let your soul rejoice in his mercy, and be not ashamed of his praise, right? So you have our people, you got guys, even in the new covenant, even in this truth, obviously in the camps, they're ashamed of the Lord and the gospel. They're ashamed of marriage. They're ashamed of love. You understand? And the Lord said, whosoever is ashamed of him and his words in this evil and adulterous demonic generation, he's going to be ashamed of you when he comes in his glory and with the angels. You see? So that's what the wicked do. The wicked of our people, they're like a continual dropping. A continual dropping, always complaining, always making up excuses, always making up heresies and commandments of men, you know, leading our people astray. Proverbs 27 and verse 15, a continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike, right? So our people, right, they're like that wicked woman to the Lord that are just always contentious. They preach out shall have contention and strife, always just trying to fight and argue and debate, full of debate, you see? And that's going into the five foolish virgins. You see, so jumping back, this definition I want to get is manipulate. Now, manipulate, this is what the wicked of our people do. They try to manipulate. And it means to handle or control, you see. It says examine. It says control, here's a point, manipulate. Control or influence a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously, right? Exploit. It says alter data or present statistics so as to mislead. You see, falsify. Oh, well, I know that. They'd be like, oh, well, I know this. I know that. You know, they act like they know everything, but they don't. You see, their opinion has deceived them. The scripture say their own opinion. Matter of fact, let me just get it. Their opinion has deceived them, which is not fact. Ecclesiastes 3:24, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, right? Empty talk. Vain, it says opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment, right? So they don't have their mouth. Matter of fact, let me get this in Psalms. Psalms 33 and 5. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. Psalms 106 and 3. Blessed are they that keep judgment, and he that doeth righteousness at all times. Remember me, O Lord, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation. Right? So we're in the visitation of souls. Understand that. That I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thine inheritance. You see? Now, the visitation of souls, only the elect will have fruit and be gathered as the first fruits, while the wicked are going to be passed over. They're going to be rejected. Man, it's really heavy what's happening. So if you're not really one with the Lord and in full agreement with him, and submission and humbleness and meekness, then you cannot deceive the elect. You're not going to trick your way out of this. You know, the Lord said, if any man tries to come up on any other way, he's a thief and a robber. And you know that no thief and no robber has eternal life abiding in him. You shall surely die. See, it's heavy, man. Wisdom of Solomon 3:15. For glorious is the fruit of good labors. And like the brother, he did a beautiful lesson going into the bee. The bee is one of the smallest of creatures that fly, but it has the chief fruit, the honey. You see? For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out, right? So the wicked that are resting in the world, they have their rest in the world. They're being put into a bed in Revelation and being judged with their children all together. For though they live long, yet shall they be at nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial, right? Which that's the time we're in. We're in the testing of all things to see if you're really of the Lord's gold, his treasure, or you're not. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. Too horrible. So the Lord, his word is moving swiftly. Psalms 147:15, he sendeth forth his commandment upon earth, his word runneth very swiftly, right? So the only ones that are running are the ones that are actually reading. That he may run that readeth it. So not everyone's reading. The Lord said, blessed he that readeth, for the time of these prophecies that are at hand, Revelation 1:3. So when you go into reading, right? Reading is not just like opening a book and reading. Understand something about reading. Like the wicked, they'll say like, oh, I'm reading this, like I'm reading you, you know, the wicked will say that. But in righteousness, it's like this. Let me show you. The definition of reading is the knowledge of literature, right? The knowledge of Yahushai. In interpretation. It says reading. Being able to comprehend. Here's the point. Reading. Understand or interpret the nature or significance of something. Discern, right? Judgment. Inspect. You know? So it's not just opening a book and, oh, that's reading. You can also read people, you know? Listen to what they say. And also what they do. And then by their actions, you're going to be able to line them up to who they are in the Bible. This is why with certain men, there's certain actions, there's certain things they do and say and etc. You know, you can figure out who they are in the Bible, how they act like. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy. You know, what they're fulfilling, what they're not fulfilling, what they're, you know, going off at, you know. Ecclesiastes 46 and verse 7, in the time of Moses also he did a work of mercy, he and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, in that they withstood the congregation and withheld the people from sin and appeased the wicked murmuring, right? And that's what our people, the congregation, is full of. All these guys that do videos, they're just full of murmuring. They're full of, they've turned aside to vain jangling and babbling. They're not even making sense anymore. The word murmuring is a low, continuous sound, right? Talking shit. Say something cautiously and discreetly. Right? Murmur. Talk under their breath. And then be like, what'd you say? And then be like, oh, nothing. Right. You didn't, that's exactly what you said. Nothing. Heavy, man. So you have a lot of signs that are at the end. And let me also get this. This is Second Maccabees 1 and 29. Let me start at verse 26. It says, receive the sacrifice for thy whole people Israel, and preserve thine own portion, right? The own portion of the Lord is the elect, the chosen, and sanctify it, right? We are the ones that are sanctifying the gold, the riches, the true riches that are going to last and endure. Righteous dealings, which the word sanctify, the Lord says, sanctified by thy word is truth. Now the word sanctify is to set apart as, or declare holy, make legitimate, free from sin, right? Cleanse, free from sin, redeem. We've been redeemed, we've been bought. Wash someone's sins away, right? We've been bought with a price. What price is it? Is it has to do with anything of this wicked world's finance? No, it has anything to do with the Lord's, his own blood, his own body. He gave himself for us. So henceforth, it's only right that we give ourselves for him, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. And this is why our Lord died for us, because we're his possession. And when as we're the Lord's possession, he loves his possession. It says, and sanctify it. Gather those together that are scattered from us. Deliver them that serve among the heathen. Look upon them that are despised and abhorred, and let the heathen know that thou art our power. So a very fine point about the gathering of the elect is that the elect will come together. Brother and brother. Man and woman. Husband and wife. The elect will come together. Also in the physical. And it shows you that in the new Spider-Man movie too. Like, they was in different worlds at different times, but like, they had that watch, right? They had that power, that ability to come into other Spider-Man's verses and worlds, you know? To help preserve and save, you know? But that's another topic, but it's heavy. It says, punish them that oppress us, right? And it's not just Esau, guys, but, oh, Esau oppresses us. Esau's oppressing me. It's not even just him, man. It's also our people that oppress our own people, man. They oppress them by holding them back, you know, by keeping them down, by, you know, not believing in the Lord in them, you know. It says, punish them that oppress us, and with pride do us wrong. Plant thy people again in thy holy place, as Moses hath spoken. Right now, the holy place is no longer a place. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. Like it says in I think it's in Maccabees as well. So wherever we are, that is what is holy. You understand? That is the Ark of the Covenant. That is the third temple. We are. So a point about the miracle that we're doing these last days is that we're enhancing and we're raising our people's self-confidence in themselves and in the power in God in themselves. We're increasing it. That you do have power right now by having the Holy Spirit come upon you. It says, and the priest sung psalms of thanksgiving, right? So this goes into the new song which no man can learn or sing. So you have a lot of guys trying to manipulate and trying to put on an act like they are, but they're not. Because a part of the new song, a big part of the new song is the victory over the beast, over the mark, over death, over everything, over all the unbelievers, over all the false ones. Ecclesiastes 6:18. It says, my son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned, you see? He that is without understanding will not remain with her. You see, they're going to break wedlock. They're going to break up. They're going to divorce. You see, the Lord and the covenant and the love and the wisdom. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, test. And he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many, right? Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. And put thy feet into her fetters, and thy neck into her chain. Bow down thy shoulder, and bear her, right? Bear your cross. And be not grieved with her bonds. Right, do what the Lord told you to do, and it's gonna be well with you in the end. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go, right? Let her not go. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to thy joy, beautiful, which no man can take. So we're laboring, this labor of love, we love doing this, to enter into the Lord's eternal rest, eternal peace. Hebrews 4:11, let's labor therefore to enter into that rest, right? Not rest with the wicked, not sit down with the wicked, not just give up and, you know what I'm saying? Lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. And there's many examples of unbelief in these last days. You see? Wisdom of Solomon 4:8, for honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years, right? Because it's really going into immortality and eternal life in Yahushai. Verse 10, he pleased God, right? Not men pleasers over here. Go somewhere else to find that shit, that weak nature. He pleased power and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated. Yes, speedily. You see, it's happening quick now. Was he taken away lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul? Heavy. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. He, being made perfect in a short time, fulfilled a long time, right? Which guys haven't done this. For his soul pleased the Lord, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. You see that? This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and he hath respect unto his chosen, right? So the word translate, it going into move from one place or condition to another. You see that? Translate. These are the things that's happening right now. Heavy. Move a bishop to another see or pastoral charge. It says remove saints' relics to another place. It says cause a body to move so that all its parts travel in the same direction without rotation or change of shape. Heavy. It means to carry across. Heavy, man. John 11:26, and whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? Right. It'll be done unto you if you believe it. You're not going to die. Lord said there's some standing here that shall not taste of death. Songs of Solomon 2:8. The voice of my beloved. Behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills. The government, man, this world. We're skipping on it. We're leaping on it. It says move along lightly, right? We're moving light. We're traveling light. Stepping from one foot to the other with a hop or bounce. Let's get the word for leaping. Right? Jump over to a great height with a great force. And that's heavy, man, because the Lord said, with my power, I have leaped over a wall. And that's what this place is. This world, this society, this kingdom, Babylon, it's a fucking wall. And they don't want you to jump over. They want you to trap you in your mind, soul, and body. But the Lord's not going to allow this, man. Psalms 18:29, for by thee I have run through a troop, and by my God I have leaped over a wall. So like the brother said, again, I have to close out now. Like the brother said, hey, call all Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The plagues are being poured out now. Because the elect are just about sealed. Revelation 8 and verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. Heavy. Now, Slakia. It also said grass, right? Now check this out. You know, and these scriptures are very manifold. It's not just talking about physical trees with leaves and shit. It's also talking about men. You see? James 1:11, for the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat. Now remember, the Lord said that thou the sun and the moon shall not smite against the Lord's elect. So these judgments aren't for the elect, they're for the wicked that don't have the mark of God heavy. They've been marked by the beast. It says, but it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways. 1 Peter 1:24, for all flesh is as grass. It's everywhere. And all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. You see that? The fig tree, no fruits of the spirit, just fruits of the flesh. Verse 25, but the word of the Lord endureth forever, and this is the word which by the gospel is preached unto you. You see that? Not to everybody, but a few, and a few like us. You see? Revelation 9:4. And it was, let me start verse, Revelation 9 and verse 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Man, look up your redemption draweth nigh, man. The sky has been looking different lately. Like, everything is changing. And, you know, if you're truly of the elect, you're going to be making big changes as well, because the blessing and the salvation that's happening and at hand is you need to fill up all reservations for the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Redeem the time and give it to the Lord with prayer, fasting, reading, taking care of yourself, eating well, healthy, being in health, good health, you know, writing, you know. And fulfilling the law, fulfilling in one word, which is love. With that, all praises, glory, honor, and fear, Yahweh. Bashim Yahushua, Baharakakwadash, Ababa Ball, Shalak Machapayim, Call Yashrala. Judgment must begin at the house of the Lord first. And this is what is happening. It's not going to happen. It's not something in the future. It's something very present, man. So know what time you're in. Know what's going on. Be aware. Beware. Without a shalom.